You hate me because I told you the truth. You hate me because I told you the truth. The truth sounds like hate to those that hate the truth. Don't shoot the messenger.
He wants to be your brother.
Don't shoot the messenger. We are just messengers. We have no power over you. We have no control over you. We are just the messengers.
Okay, so you are here with the group counter-protesting the QAnon folks that came in from Arizona. I know there's some other groups here local as well. They're anti-trans groups. They're basically accusing these pediatricians of being groomers and pedophiles. So how did you first hear about them coming to town to protest this, and is that why you organized, etc.?
That's exactly why we organized. That's why we're here today. Some of our community members, advocates in our community, alerted us to their organizing, the opposition being here, demonstrating against our pediatricians who are providing gender-affirming care and doing a service for all families and all children. And when we found out they were going to be here protesting, people doing good work, we had to be here in support.
Well, there's way more of you than there are of them. I'd say there's 2 counter-protesters to every protester, so there's fewer of them, which is to your benefit. Why are they targeting, though, a pediatrician convention? I mean, these are doctors.
They are, and let's not forget that at the core, they're scientists. They go with the science.
Right.
The folks who are protesting, let's just say, generally, they are not going with the science across many issues. And so they're picking, this is their issue today. I'm told that these folks are here just about every time someone comes to the convention center. They're picking this issue today because today the American Academy of Pediatricians is here.
Right, so they're basically saying because they support, like, here's the thing I don't quite understand, and I've asked some of these guys that question. I'm like, so how do you categorize a child or a baby that's born with versions of both sex organs?
Intersex.
In your world, these folks don't exist, but they do.
Correct. When someone doesn't believe in an actual something that exists, like intersex, how can you have a conversation with that person? There's nowhere to go from there. Until we all can agree that something exists, we cannot move forward.
Right. And interestingly enough, this wasn't an issue previously. Trans folks have been with us a long time, but they kind of took up, I'd say, they went from anti-vaccine to this. What do you think was the motivation for that? Because none of this is new.
None of it is new, but under the Trump administration, haters gotta hate, and they have been emboldened to speak their hate speech, and you can take out LGBTQ, you can take out trans, you can insert your marginalized community here, and they are hating everyone who does not look exactly like them and believe exactly what they believe.
And a lot of it's religiously motivated. Do you
Yes.
think there's an increase in Christian fascism out there too?
You know, I don't know, but they're certainly louder. They're louder today than they were, 15, 20 years ago.
Go away in the earth, you sluggard, and be wise in her way. You'll never be able to erase the law. These are protesters.
You guys good? All right.
We have no power over you. We have come to warn you. Warning, warning. That on the Bible, if you have the God of your imagination. Jesus Christ said repent unless you repent.
Protect trans youth! 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 Protect trans youth!
You move off the sidewalk.
Protect trans youth! 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 Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights!
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights!
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights!
Come from the right. We've seen evangelicals come from the right. We've seen homophobic slurs being thrown at us, transphobic slurs, since 7 a.m. Who wants to wake up and have a transphobic slur thrown at them at 7 a.m.? But guess what? We didn't react like you see all these right-wing pundits and chuds reacting. We responded with love. We responded with education. We educated them. We didn't scream at them. We educated them. Like our colleague just came up and educated them on how many trans youth were killed in the past year. We're not yelling. We're educating. And when you educate and when you demonstrate, guess what that leads to? Legislate. We have to make sure our trans youth are protected. We have to make sure their rights are amplified. And what you're doing today is revolutionary. You're outlasting the hate. You're outlasting all the love. These speakers, our voices are louder than megaphones. They're louder than speakers. So when you go home today, when you're on your Instagram feed, or when you're educating communities, come on the sidewalk, y'all. Make sure you educate, right? And I'm glad that our colleague just came up and educated them on why we're out here. Because that's the difference between us and them. They may scream at us, they may spew hate, but they're not educating us. They're not giving us facts on why they're out here. But as you can see, the youth of tomorrow, we're going to give you facts. We're going to educate you. And we're going to brush you off with love at the end of the day. And also, I wanted to mention, it's important that we have more cisgendered individuals out here speaking about trans rights. Because it's a human rights issue. It's not just one issue. So if you're not educated on the fact on why these are human rights issues, if you found somebody today, I suggest you get their number, you call them, you talk to them, you ask them, how can I support your community more? Instead of screaming at them, ask them, what can I do to be better educated about your community? Because that's what's going to solve the hate that we've seen today. That's what's going to solve the inconsistencies of the other communities not understanding. So first you educate, and then we demonstrate, and then we make sure we elect black and brown transgender youth into public office so we can make sure we protect their rights. That's what we represent at the OC Justice Initiative, and that's why we're out here today, to enshrine that we protect our youth and we educate the Orange County community about what they can do to do the same. So I appreciate you all still here. I've been out here since 5 a.m. and I'm still going to be here all day to make sure they know that trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.